Okay. Do you guys have any questions from yesterday? Let me just recap what we have spoken yesterday, just to get up to speed. So we started with what's cloud computing, what are the modules of cloud computing, like software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and how Salesforce falls under all those categories. So we did that yesterday. We tried to understand what the differences between those and what Lightning platform is. I mean, of course, it used to be called as Force.com platform, but now it's Lightning platform. And then we also signed up for Salesforce. I think everybody has a Salesforce account now because we signed up. And I think we logged out and logged in again by using login.salesforce.com by entering your username and password. And then we were able to just navigate a little bit between both Lightning and Classic experience and just understood a little bit difference between those. So any questions so far on that? All right. So now let's talk about, like I mentioned, let's talk about the topic software development lifecycle. I mean, before even going to the software development lifecycle, let's talk about what CRM means. I think everybody knows Salesforce is a customer relationship management application. So let's talk about what CRM means first, what CRM really means. And try to understand what CRM cycle is, and talk about some examples or some of the CRM tools that are available in the market. Okay. Now, let's assume you go to an insurance company. Let's just see an example. Let's just say let's go to Progressive. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing the screen yet. Let me just share the screen. It is WebEx. Sorry, give me 1 second. It's just asking me to add something to Chrome. All right. So can you guys see my screen? Okay, good. So let's go to I just Googled Progressive Insurance. Let's just go to their website. Let's just get auto. You see here, all they're asking is, hey, which zip code you belong. So I enter the zip code. So I just entered some basic information, and then you see they're asking what is my first name, what's my last name, what's the date of birth, what is the mailing address, and then when I click OK, start my code. So what is this? So as a customer, I'm trying to buy insurance. I'm a customer. I have a car. Now, since I own a car now, I'm trying to get an insurance. Okay, just like Progressive, I can also go to Liberty Mutual. So I can go here. I'll go to their website, and then same thing. I'll just enter my zip code, and then same thing. They will ask my street address, where I live, and then if I save and continue, they'll ask me my first name, last name, or if you see, these are the forms, these are the fields that we are trying to fill in. Even in Liberty Mutual, we are trying to fill in this. So basically, Progressive and Liberty Mutual are competitive companies. Now, similar to this, we also have Geico, we also have other insurance companies. Now, as a customer, what am I trying to do here? As a customer, I want to get the best deal for me. So all I'm doing is I'm just going online. I'm trying to fill in some basic information, and I'll get the quotes from everybody. Okay, I'll compare the quotes, and I will choose the best quote, whatever I felt. I'll go with their company. Okay. Now, imagine. So this is from a customer standpoint. Okay, but let's try to understand this from the company standpoint. Okay, let's assume that Progressive is using a CRM application. It doesn't have to be Salesforce. Let's assume Progressive is using a CRM application. It can be Microsoft Azure CRM or Oracle On Demand, whatever. It can be any CRM application. So what's happening here? See, when I enter my first name, last name, all this, and when I say, okay, start my code, what should happen? Automatically, all the information that I'm filling in here is going to be stored in their CRM application. Okay. Same thing. Whatever I'm, irrespective of the technology, all the information that I'm storing here is absolutely stored in Liberty Mutual's CRM application. It can be whatever. Now, it will be stored as a lead. So what is meant by a lead? Lead is nothing but both Progressive and Liberty Mutual have a chance of making a sale. Like, lead. I think when we watch crime shows, they'll say, hey, I got a lead here. Lead is nothing but, they got a chance of finding something. In the same way, for a company, when they say they got a lead, lead is nothing but, as a company, they got a chance to sell something. Okay, Progressive, these companies sell insurance, and they, as a company, they got a chance to sell insurance for us. Okay, so they got a lead. Now, let's say I just filled in this basic information and I stopped it. Okay, even here, I filled in this basic information and I stopped it. I didn't ask for a code or I didn't provide further information. So I will, like the information that I have provided will be stored as a lead. That's it. It would just be stored as a lead in their system. Let's say I filled in the information, I obtained the quote. So what do? They will create an account for me. Like when I say account, a user account will be created on my name, whatever first name, last name, email address that I have given. They will create a user account for me in their application, in their CRM application. Now, I showed even more interest and I said, you know what, I'm trying to buy this. I've like maybe I call a customer care representative or a sales representative. I said, I have these requests. Can you make those requests? Or I'll say, can you give me a discount because, I took a defensive driving course. I've been driving for like 20 years now. So, I'll send my old driver's license. I speak with them, all those things just to lower my insurance rate. And all these things doesn't happen like in a second, right? They store the information. Maybe you call tomorrow or day after tomorrow, or let's say when you call, they ask you to, hey, can you send your insurance copy, like, sorry, not insurance, previous license copy, or can you send your defensive driving course copy? So these things happen over the period. So, but during this period, what would they do? They store our information. They keep on taking our information. And finally, if we buy it, like as a customer, if the customer buys it, it's a win for them. Okay, it's a win for them. If finally, you might be talking to 2 or 3 insurance companies, and ultimately you will only buy insurance from one, but your information is stored in all 3 companies. So one company won the deal, and the other 2 companies lost the deal. Okay, so this whole process, CRM is nothing but customer relationship management. Creation of a lead, customer relationship management application is nothing but any application that helps in creating a lead, creating a contact, and then creating a sales opportunity, and that sales opportunity moving through different phases like initial phase, quote generation phase, negotiation phase, and finally ending up with either the sales opportunity being closed won or closed lost. Okay. So this process, the process of lead generation, account creation, and sales opportunity creation, the process that involve all 3 steps is called as CRM process. Okay. Now, any application that supports this CRM process is called as a CRM application. Now, what are some of the examples? We have Microsoft Dynamics CRM. That's a CRM application which is supported or which is powered by Microsoft. What it does the same thing, lead generation, account creation, and opportunity management, sales opportunity management. In the same way, we have Oracle On Demand, we have Yoho CRM, we have Sugar CRM, and we also have Salesforce CRM. Salesforce CRM is also anywhere, if you see SAP CRM is one of the famous ones. So if you hear any application that's a CRM application, if you hear the word CRM, that is nothing but those applications are supporting these transactions, lead generation, customer tracking, and also sales, the process tracking. Okay. So any application that is doing that for us is nothing but a CRM application. Now, Salesforce is also a CRM application. When you log into Salesforce, we can see those. Let's just log into Salesforce and see how Salesforce is a CRM application. Okay. I forgot the username. Last 2 minutes. You guys can log into your Salesforce org as well if you want. Okay. So let's log in here. We can talk about how the information there is connected here. We can talk about all those things, but let's talk about this now. Let's go to the Sales app. Okay, let's look at the tabs here. Do you see leads? You see leads, you see accounts, contacts, and opportunities. Okay, so let's talk about a lead. Let's just say new. Remember, this is a software as a service product. It's a pre-built end product for us to be used. We didn't develop all these things, but you see, there is already a tab called lead where we can enter the information, and we can just say, lead source can be anything, right? Like, either if you come from here, the lead source would be web. If you call yourself, the lead source would be phone inquiry. If one of your friend referred you for Progressive, or, it would be a partner, like it can be anything. So let's just say it is web. I give my phone number, email, whatever it is that I give here, we can give all this information. And you see, I created it. Okay. So the lead, if you click on details, see, my name is there, and you see the lead phase is open, not contacted. Maybe one of the customer care representative will contact, and, let's just say, okay. Now, what I'll just do is I'll click convert. Okay. So the thing is, here what I'm doing, the lead is created after the information, the first name, last name. If you see, these fields are matching with exact fields, whatever we filled here. I don't even know if Progressive is using Salesforce or not. I don't even know if Liberty Mutual, yes, they use Salesforce, but I don't even know if Progressive is using Salesforce or not. But you see, all the fields like first name, last name, the zip code, phone number, mailing address, everything that you are seeing here are matching on the lead fields that you are filling here. You see, address, first name, last name, phone number, everything. Now, what I'm doing is a lead got created. Let's assume a sales representative saw this. And, sometimes when you fill in this information, you also get calls from sales representatives. See, what happens is when you create, in this application, the record will be created. Sales representative, when they see this, okay, there is a lead created in this area, let me call them. So based on the phone number, they will make a call, and what they will do is, after they are satisfied, okay, lot of people will be submitting them, but not everybody is a potential customer. When the salesperson, when they talk to you, they get some sense, okay, these people this lead might be a potential lead. Okay, so when they really realize that this record is a potential lead, they click convert button. When they click convert, okay, I'll just show you what happens. You see, automatically an account is created for you. You see, an account is created for you with the detail, like with the company name. Okay, we'll talk about B2C, B2B, all those, but automatically an account is created for you. A contact is also created with the details that we have entered, with my first name, last name, and all that. And if you see, there is also an opportunity, like we created this yesterday. So this opportunity is also created. Now you see, this opportunity is created in the initial phase, prospecting phase. Let's say we can mark it as proposal price quote as well. We can say, hey, you know what, I generated a quote. Like you know, it is in the opportunities usually in the initial phase. It is created like this. But when the sales representative call you, you say, hey, you know what? Take my details and generate a quote for me. They will generate the quote and they will send the quote. Once the quote is sent, they will mark it as proposal price review and they will just save this information. They will save this record. Then you will say, you know what? I have all this experience. I'm a very good driver and all. So they will know when you are negotiating, they will know that, hey, this record is in negotiation phase. Okay. Now, finally, after all this, let's say you decided to buy the insurance, they will mark it as closed one. Okay. So closed one means this deal is set. You bought the insurance from them. That's it. This deal is set. This opportunity is won, and hence based on depending on the amount, how much you bought, they will get the commission and all. Or let's say in some other company, you didn't buy there. You spoke with them, you negotiated, you did all those, but finally you didn't end up buying. So they will mark it as closed lost. Okay. Sorry. You see, that's why it is showing in red color that, you know what? Yeah, we did all the work on the opportunity, but this is closed loss. The customer didn't show the interest and hence this opportunity was lost. So you will not get as a sales representative, they will not get bonus. The company didn't make the sale, nothing happened. So that's why it is showing as closed loss. Now, our goal is not to understand the whole opportunity, how it works. We can talk about it later. But our goal now is to understand what CRM means. CRM is nothing but customer relationship management. I think when we talk about customer relationship management, people think about, maintaining good relationship with customers, things like that. But the actual, in technical terms, customer relationship management is nothing but recording all the transactions that happen with customers in one place. Okay? Starting from scratch, starting from the first point when a customer makes contact with a company. See, as a customer, this is my first point of contact with the company. And any information that I'm giving, that information is stored here. Okay? And any further transaction, let's say, I'm talking, let's say, I spoke on phone. You see, let's say I spoke on phone. See, when I speak on phone, automatically even that information, I'm saying, hey, I spoke on phone with this person. That information, you're also recording that information. So customer relationship management is nothing but logging all the transactions that happen with the customer and the business. Okay? When I say from the initial point until forever, when I say forever, like from the initial point, from the moment you get in touch with the company, and all the subsequent transactions that happen after that. Okay, so the lead creation and account and contact creation, and then opportunity. This is called opportunity, and this opportunity passing through all phases, and the opportunity being, ending as close won or close loss. Anything that happens, any transaction that happens from then, and from the time the opportunity is either close won or lost, or even after the subsequent transactions that happen with the customer, all the transactions have to be recorded somewhere. And any application that helps us to record those kind of the lead, account, contact, opportunity kind of transactions is nothing but a CRM application. So the reason why I'm giving that information is no matter whether, when you go work for a company in Salesforce, you will be hearing, every day, most of the days, you will be hearing the word lead, contact, account, opportunity. Your life, you will be hearing these words at least 10 times in a day. Like if you're working for a core CRM company and if you're implementing Salesforce for them. Because, I want you to understand what those mean. From an outsider, if you do not know Salesforce, from an outsider, a lead, the word lead might mean something different to you. The word opportunity might mean something different to you. But in CRM terms, when somebody is talking about an opportunity, that means they are talking about a record that you're seeing here. When somebody is talking about a lead, they are talking about a potential customer for that company. Okay? So now, that's customer relationship management application. Okay, I mean, there is more to Salesforce. We'll talk about it. But so far, my focus is only on CRM piece of it. Any questions so far? Anybody?
Sir, excuse me.
Yes.
So if the progressive has been connected to Salesforce, so they will have their own created application, right? It won't look like
Yes.
Salesforce.
No, I mean, it can, see, this can be a progressive Salesforce instance.
Mhm.
Like all the Salesforce instances look exactly the same.
Okay. Can we create the app like sales, like giving our own name
Yes,
and our
you
own
can create, yes. Instead
enlightenment?
of sales, yeah, you can create anywhere. Like instead of, you can create custom applications. You can change this logo. You can modify. You can create your own application called Progressive Insurance Management Application. You can change this logo to Progressive logo. You can do all those things.
Like Booking.com, Expedia, and all.
See, Booking.com, Expedia is a different concept. See,
Mhm.
Booking.com, Expedia, what they do is, they give you, they work like Amazon, right? Imagine Amazon. What they do is they allow you to sign up. They give a separate account for their own customer.
Right.
And you do your own self-service. Like in Amazon, what Amazon offers you is, you sign up for Amazon, you go in there, you do your own shopping, you pay the whole amount, and all Amazon does is fulfill your order. So Amazon is more like a self-service portal. Even in Salesforce, there is a concept called communities. Okay, so using communities, you can exactly create what Amazon does, or what Booking.com does, what Expedia does.
Right. Okay. Okay. Got it.
So those are publicly exposed pages. Now this page, whatever that you are seeing here, it's not a publicly exposed page. It is, you are logging into your Salesforce and accessing it. But there are features in Salesforce like sites, like communities, where you can expose pages publicly too.
Mm-hmm.
For example, one good example of a site like that is, I don't know if you ever booked a visa interview with USCIS. If you are booking a visa interview with USCIS, while filling your DS-160 or while doing all this, just try to observe here. Like try to observe something here. You'll see a cloud symbol. So because I think USCIS, the visa, what you call, our visa slot booking, the visa account creation, your information, everything is done in Salesforce. Now that's why you see what Salesforce does is, whenever you try to apply for a visa, they'll ask your first name, last name, and email address. The moment you give your first name, last name, and email address, they'll create a user account for you in Salesforce, inside Salesforce, but a cheaper one, not this costly one. Like they will give you a basic community license, and they will, all the documents that you upload, all the information that you upload will be stored in that Salesforce instance. And even, I recently went for a visa interview in Hyderabad. So, when they take you for fingerprint, just look at their pic through their computer. They'll be using exact screen, whatever that you're seeing here, and they'll be entering your information there. That is a good example of exposing custom built pages outside, for customers to use. But for public use. But what we are talking about here is not from public use, from employee perspective. I'll get there. I'll try to explain what our role, what employees, and all that stuff is.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Anybody? Any questions on just the CRM process? If you understand, okay, CRM means, yeah, there will be any company. Just, I only gave example of Progressive and Liberty Mutual, but think about any company. If you're trying to buy a car, if you're trying to buy some, household kitchen item, if you're trying to buy a bed, or if you're trying to buy, like, think about buying anything, and you can imagine millions of use cases how a CRM application can be used for any kind of company, right? For example, have you ever heard a company called Tech Systems? So Tech Systems is a vendor company. So vendor company, when I say vendor company, what they do is they place people in the market. That means a lot of clients, they reach out to Tech Systems. Let's say I have a company, okay, and I want to implement Salesforce. So let's take Liberty Mutual. Liberty Mutual implements Salesforce. They have Salesforce. So they want Salesforce resources. So what did they do? They talk to one of the account manager at Tech Systems and say, hey, you know what? We have a requirement for 5 resources. Can you get those resources for us? Now, what Tech Systems does, they post those requirements in job portal. They get the consultants, and they arrange the interviews and everything. Once everything is good, the consultant will be working for Liberty Mutual through Tech Systems. Now, Tech Systems is a company like that. It's been there for like so many years, and it's, I think, one of the biggest companies around the world with respect to this. You know what Tech Systems do? They use Salesforce to be able to capture all the resumes. Whenever the first time they, let's say there is a job in Tech Systems portal. What do? You go to their portal and you see a phone number there, and you talk to the one of the recruiters. So when you're talking to the recruiter about the job, the recruiter will be like, okay, tell me your first name, last name, what's your date of birth or whatever. They capture some information. All the information that you are giving is stored inside Salesforce. They recently started implementing Salesforce, so it will be stored inside Salesforce. Then they will like, hey, can you send your resume? So when you send your resume, they will upload that resume on your user account. And let's say you get a job, they will upload your job experience. Let's say you didn't do well at the job and they fire you. They put that information as well. We placed him in one of the projects, but he didn't do well. So, maybe they will put some kind of indicator. Or you worked and you did a pretty good job. They might put some visual indicators that you are a pretty good resource. So all this information can be stored in a CRM application. And because how can, it's a worldwide company. They cannot maintain everything in spreadsheets or Word documents, and they cannot do those. That's why they need an application that is a central repository that acts like a central data repository and has all the information in it. Okay, I mean that's an example there. So you can take any company and you can think of millions of examples on how a CRM application can be used, and that's why Salesforce is being been doing pretty good. Okay, now like I mentioned yesterday, we spoke about it is software as a service, but Salesforce also has platform as a service. Remember we spoke about Lightning platform, which is used to write software. Now, the company that I currently work for, we don't use this leads account. I work for a healthcare company, okay? So we don't use this leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities. We don't use them at all. But what we did is we use Salesforce as a platform, and we built our own application, okay? Our own, like the application that I work for, what we do is we treat patients. The company that I work for, they treat patients. So whenever a patient joins the company, we take all the medical information, like, what is their age, what is their weight, what is their current health condition. We do lots of assessment, whether they smoke, whether they have any injuries. So all the information will be, the doctors and nurses will perform those evaluations, and they will do the data entry. All the data entry will be done within Salesforce. So once the data entry is done, what kind of treatment that we are giving, how long they are at the facility, how much billing that we should do, and all this information happens within Salesforce. And we built our own custom application. That means we don't use any of these features whatever they have given here. So we just use platform ability. Like, we built our own software product by using the platform ability that is given by Salesforce. Okay, so just like the sales application that you are seeing here, we built our own, application called ESD, Electronic Service Delivery. We call it as Electronic Service Delivery. We created our own application, and we built everything from scratch. We didn't use any feature that's given by Salesforce. That's up to us. So that's a good thing. So Salesforce already has a software as a service product and has a platform inbuilt in it. So you can use this product as it is, or you can use this product. If you need tiny modifications, you can make those modifications to suit your need, or you can use the platform. The platform is also so powerful. Salesforce, the Lightning platform is also so powerful. You can build your own applications. You don't have to use out of the box whatever that is given. You can build your own custom applications as well, which we'll do as one of the project exercise. We'll build one of the custom application. So, I mean, just to explain the things that what are all we can do in Salesforce. Okay. Does it give any clarity on, I mean, let me tell you my end goal. My end goal here, the reason for why I'm telling this is, I mean, my end goal is not, you will remember the company names that I told or nothing. My end goal is, since you're learning Salesforce, I want you to have an understanding of, okay, like what are all the things that we can do? How a company can leverage this? How does Salesforce make money? Because, only when Salesforce makes money, the platform will be expanded, and as developers, we'll be able to make money. So how Salesforce is able to make money? How are companies going to leverage Salesforce? What are the things that we can do? What is the core concept on top of which Salesforce is built? So I want you to get this general understanding. So there is a difference between a regular person who is not learning Salesforce versus a person who's getting trained in Salesforce. You should know a bit more information than the person who is not learning, right? So that's why I'm trying to give this information. Okay. Any questions so far, anybody?
You still use the concept like objects and database and everything, right? I mean,
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
And the leads, you might have different objects.
Yes, exactly. We'll be using tables. I will get there too, like, what these tables are and all. I'll start that concept tomorrow, so we'll get there. Okay. Now, I just want to give you one little concept before we move on from here. So, if you take any business, mostly businesses are categorized into B2B and B2C. Okay? B2B is nothing but business to business. B2C is nothing but business to customer. Okay. What is an example of B2C? Amazon is a very good example of B2C. When I say B2C, Amazon is a business entity. Amazon as a company is a business entity. It is directly serving individual consumers. I have my own Amazon account. I go, whatever I want to buy, I do online shopping, I buy, and Amazon is sending directly to an individual. It is serving an individual consumer. So B2C is nothing but business to consumer. So a business, Amazon as a company, is providing its services for an individual customer. Okay, that's B2C business. Then there is something called B2B, business to business. Okay, so business to business is nothing but, let's say, I work for, a company called Mentor Network. Okay, so Mentor Network is a business. It's a company. Now we have an office in Boston. Now that Boston office need internet. We need Wi-Fi. We need internet services. And let's say we called Verizon, and Verizon is providing internet for us. Now Verizon is a business. Mentor Network is a business. Verizon is providing internet to another company. Like a business entity is doing business with another business entity. So that's B2B business. Okay. If a business entity is doing with consumer, it's B2C. Verizon is a good example of a hybrid, because Verizon provides internet for businesses, and even at my home I have Verizon internet. Okay, so it is doing business with a company. Verizon is also doing business with individual. So Verizon is a hybrid solution. So that means they have B2B model, and they also have B2C model. Their pricings might vary, their price, plans, everything might vary, but they are operating in B2B and B2C model. Now, the model that you see here, the default model that Salesforce is giving here is B2B model. Okay? the model that you are seeing here, like the sales app or the model that you are seeing here is a B2B model where a business is doing business with another business entity. Okay. So that's why you have the concept of account and contact. Okay. Let me tell you what that means. So, I mean, I gave an individual example, but let's translate that into a company example. Okay. Now, let's say this Salesforce instance is used by BMW. Imagine this Salesforce instance. Imagine it's not my personal instance. This is a Salesforce instance that BMW as a company is using. Okay. Now, I think you all know Enterprise Rental, right? Enterprise is a rental company. You know, it's a car rental company. Let's say Enterprise decided, you know what? Let's buy 100 BMW 3 Series. You know, let's just assume that Enterprise decided to do business with BMW. So now, Enterprise, what they do is, first of all, I mean, I'm not exactly telling you what really happens in the business world. Just for the sake of example, our goal here is to understand the B2B model, what Salesforce is offering. That's why I'm just, only, I mean, in real life, it doesn't happen like that. It happens a little bit differently, but let's just assume that. Now, so a person from, I am a sales representative. I'm not a developer. I'm not an admin. I am a salesperson working for BMW. Okay. And this is my app, whatever app that so my technical team, like at BMW, have built a Salesforce CRM application, and they said, hey, you know what? They trained me. You know what? Use this application. Okay. You are the salesperson. Use this application. And, enter the data whenever you go talk to people, get the sales and get your bonuses, what they said. Okay. Now what happened? One person called me. A person from Enterprise called me and said, hey, I'm interested we are interested in buying 10 cars. Okay. And we want to know if you can give a quote for us. Then I'll be like, okay, yeah, why not? And I'll be on the phone with them, and they'll just say, hey, I'll ask, what's your name? They'll just say, John Doe Company. So, hey, because see, we are talking about B2B scenario, business to business. This is like this Salesforce instance is owned by BMW. I'm talking to a customer as a sales guy. I'll ask, hey, sir, which company do you work for? Then he will say, yeah, I work for Enterprise. Okay, let's just say Enterprise Car Rental. I'll ask you, hey, what is your title? Because this person is working for a company, I'll ask him, hey, what's your title? He'll just say Sales Vice President, let's assume. And then he's talking with me on phone, so, I'll just say phone inquiry. What is Enterprise? Enterprise is in transportation, right? Transportation business, okay? They might not give all the information, but let's just say they, probably they might not ask the question to Enterprise, but if I say Shravan Car Rental, these people wouldn't believe, and they will ask me, hey, how much is your annual revenue? I'm sure they will not ask Enterprise that question, but I'll just put something. So I'll ask them xyz@mail.com. What is your website? Okay. In Enterprise, of course, there are so many people that are working, and they will give all the, street information, city, all that, and they create a lead. Okay. A lead is created with all the information. You see John Doe, all the information is created. Now, there will be some to and fro conversation that will go on. And finally, Enterprise didn't buy it yet, but Enterprise is showing more interest. It's not a cold lead. Again, like I told you, the words that I'm using, cold lead, hot lead, or warm lead, you will be hearing those words if you work. So a cold lead is nothing but, let's say, somebody called and they never called you back, even when you call or when you write an email as a salesperson, when I write them back or when I call them back, they're not even answering. So that's a cold lead because, that lead is of no use for me. But let's say they called They called again. They are inquiring about, hey, how much code that you can give. They are showing more enthusiasm in buying the product. That's a hot lead. It's better to lead with, it's better to deal with a hot lead so that we can close the deals faster. Okay. So yeah, this John Doe person is showing more interest. So what I'll do is I'll just click convert. Okay. You see, when I click convert, it's automatically creating an account, contact, and opportunity. Okay, let's see what they are. So let me go to account. See, when I go to an account, see from the lead, an account is created with the name Enterprise Car Rental. The name of the account is Enterprise Car Rental. The website information is here. Annual revenue is here. The industry information is here. Okay. So there is an account that got created. Now, under this account, if you see, there is a contact called John Doe. Like if you see the first name, last name, title, all this information is here. So account is nothing but the business entity. The actual business entity is called account, and the people who work for that account are called contacts. Okay. So Enterprise Car Rental is an account. So selective information from the lead got entered here, and under this account, we are creating contacts. If you want to create more, you can create more as well. Okay. And then opportunity. Of course, you know what opportunity is. We are talking about, okay, on the opportunity, they're talking about, hey, we are interested in buying 3 BMW, like BMW 3 Series or like 10 cars. Let's assume, yeah, they are saying we want to buy 10 of these, and the date. See, automatically the amount got calculated. Like, I added the sales price. I can add more products as well. So this is the opportunity. Now, if you go to Enterprise Car Rental account, you will see the details of the account, and you will see the contact information. You will see the opportunity information. Now, what is the difference between an account and contact? There is so much difference. Right? Account is an entity, enterprise. Like we are saying, account means we are dealing with in a B2B scenario. My company, I am a sales representative for BMW. From BMW's perspective, enterprise is their account, okay, from a business. So BMW is doing business with Enterprise Car Rental. Now, can Enterprise Car Rental speak on its own? No. I mean, we have to deal with its employees, right? We cannot deal with a company. So account is nothing but account gives you information about what is the company name, what is the website, how much annual revenue is and all. But in order to do business with this account, we need to speak with these contacts. Okay, this is a sales vice president. Now we can add another contact call. I'll just say so we added another contact, like within under this enterprise account. So this John Doe person is a sales vice president. This Miss Jane Doe is a chief executive officer of this enterprise rental. Okay. So all the people who because the company as an entity cannot talk on its own, we are creating contacts, and the sales people like me, they would be looking at enterprise account and they will be reaching out to these people. I will call this Jane Doe and try to say, hey, you know what, we can give you 15% discount, 10% discount, or, we will deal with actual people. Contacts are nothing but actual people who work for that company. Okay. The company information is stored in account, and the contact information is stored in, the individual people who work for that. So that is the difference. So a lead gets created, lead will be converted into account and contact, because see, the default application that is given by Salesforce is for a B2B scenario. That's why you're seeing a lead, account, contact, and then opportunity. Now, can Salesforce support B2C scenarios as well? Absolutely. Salesforce will also support B2C scenarios. We'll talk about that later. There is a concept called person account. We'll talk about. But 90% of the scenarios, or 90% of the companies that are using Salesforce will use Salesforce in this default feature. So it's better we focus more on this feature. rather than, the exception, the B2C scenarios. So that's why, whenever we are talking about examples, we talk about B2B examples because the default application given by Salesforce is for B2B scenarios. Okay? Any questions between the B2B business and B2C, and what account is, what contact is? Any question here? Okay. All right. That's good. Yeah, that's good. So just to summarize, we learned what CRM process is. I think we try to understand what a lead is, what an account is, what a contact is, what an opportunity, and an opportunity passing through different phases, like, the opportunity passing through different phases like this. And, we saw the information that is being captured. We try to understand what B2B business is, what B2C business is, and we try to understand what customer relationship management is. Okay? Customer relationship management, like we mentioned, is capturing all the transactions. Now, I just want to understand one thing. What is meant by an application? Like, if we can define an application, what is meant by an application? See, to me, right, personally to me, an application is nothing but a data repository with a user interface. That's, for me, an application is nothing but a data repository with user interface controls. Okay, see, YouTube is an application. So what is YouTube storing? YouTube is storing lots of video files. It's a data repository where lots of video files are stored, and it has some user interface screen where you can access those. YouTube is an application like that. Now, what is Facebook? Facebook is an application. It stores lots of information about your profile, your interaction with your friends, your likes, your dislikes, and everything. And in the back end, the data is being stored. And in the front end, you are getting a user interface to interact with that data. Okay? Now, I think take anything, Instagram. So, it is also a database which is storing your pictures, and again, it is giving you a user interface controls to be able to access with the data. Any application, I think, again, the actual book definition might be different, but to me personally, an application is nothing but a data repository with user interface controls. I mean, there can be applications without UI controls. I'm not going into those exceptions and all. I'm just talking in general terms. An application is nothing but a data repository with user interface controls to access or to interact with that data. Now, Salesforce, when we talk about, it's a CRM application. CRM application is now this is all the data, right? Like imagine a company like Tech Systems or like Progressive or Liberty Mutual. Imagine how much data is generated for them every day. There will be so many people reaching out to them. Okay, there will be so many people reaching out to them, asking codes, changing codes, moving from customer. Like there are so many things that are happening every day. So much data is being generated. Like why the hell companies need applications like this? Companies need applications like this to improve productivity. When I say to improve, to bring standardization. Like why do any company need application like this? First most important thing is centralized data repository. Okay. Now BMW as a company, or let's take Progressive example. Progressive is operated all across United States, and every day for Progressive there are probably at least 5,000-6,000 people reaching out to Progressive, and there are numerous amounts of transactions that are happening. Now, how does Progressive management, it must be a public company, they must have a board, they must have management. How does that management make good decisions? Okay, management will be able to make good decisions or make informed decisions when they have data with them. When they see, okay, you know what, in this year, like in the first 3 months of this quarter, we have 50,000 new opportunities. That means they got 50,000 new customers. It's a good thing for a company. Or let's say if they see lots of lost opportunities, in the first quarter, that means, you know what, I think we are doing something wrong. Maybe we are pricing it too much. Let's make a decision and, as a company, make an informed decision. So only when you're capturing all the data in single place, like in a single data repository, you will be able to report on it. You will be able to, forecast on it better. You will be able to prepare some analytics out of it, to be able to make, to run the business smooth and to make informed decisions. Okay, that's why that's why I'm calling it as an application, because we are storing this information. All the information that is fed here is stored in a central repository, and we are having user interface controls to be able to interact with that data. Okay, now, so that at the top management level, it's being used like that. At lower management, let's talk about a lower management level. When it's a lower management, at a supervisor level. At a supervisor level, that supervisor want to know how his employees are performing. Okay, what can he do? He can, create a report and say, how many opportunities are created by my employees. Within the opportunities that are created for the employees that report to me, how many are won, how many are lost, how much revenue did they bring, how much bonus should I give? If somebody is slacking, they might not be winning any opportunities. Should I keep them or should I fire them? At a lower level, at a manager level, this application helps them to take those, personal level decisions. Now, at individual, as a sales user, as an individual salesperson, how can this application be used? When I log in, I can look at my calendar. I can look at all the accounts that I do business with. I can look at my opportunities that are pending. I can look at my opportunities that are in initial stages. I can plan my day. I can plan my week. I can plan my month on how I can work. So, you can do all these things. So from an individual salesperson level to CEO level, you have when the data is at single place and when the data is organized in a structured way, and when you're capturing the data from all the sources, at every level, you will be able to make informed decision and you will be able to do things better. I mean, that's the whole purpose of building any application. Otherwise, it's waste of money. If an application is not solving those issues, if the application is not giving you those things, I think there is no use in building those apps. So I know people use the word app in a loose way for everything, but technically, like WhatsApp is an application. What is it doing? It is storing data and, giving you user interface controls to be able to create groups, chat, share pictures, do all those things. And again, it's not a productivity app, and hence, there is no point in looking at how much productivity I'm gaining by using WhatsApp. But, these are productivity apps because these are like real life money earning apps. So these are productivity apps. So you'll be able to report on how you're doing, how your managers are doing and all that. So that's why companies need, in order to maintain that central database repository structure, companies need applications like this to be able to make informed decisions, and hence lots and lots of companies are moving towards implementing CRM. Okay. Now, one other thing. If you notice, I've been in IT for 5 years. I didn't know what IT is 5 years ago. So I cannot speak long, but within these 5 years, or at least from what I heard, within last 7-8 years, companies using CRM are increasing more. Let's talk about the reasons why. Previously, I'm sure every company starts as a, regular company where if you, I think we all must have seen regular, very small businesses, shopkeepers, they will be maintaining their accounts in, like journals, books, or they will be manually writing them. That's a form of doing business too. But when the companies become bigger and bigger, managing the data in such unorganized form will not be productive, and hence the data, people go and use apps like this to be able to organize everything. Now, why do we think in recent phases more small scale and medium scale companies are also implementing CRM? At one point, like 7-8 years ago, CRM is only used by companies that are filthy rich. Okay, only big level companies, were using CRM applications. Mid-scale and small-scale companies were not using CRM. Why? Because at that point, cloud computing wasn't there. Like, most of the solutions were in-house solution. Okay, when I say in-house solution, it's like in-house solutions are nothing but like they are not cloud. That means you need to maintain your own database. Like if you want to implement, let's say SAP CRM, I mean not the cloud version, but if you want to implement the regular on-premise version of an application, you would have to maintain your own database. You would have to maintain your own server. You would have to maintain your security. Like you would have to hire so many people to be able to, like, just imagine, in order to build an application of this standard, how long do you think it would have taken? If you are doing, and imagine the CapEx, the capital expenditure, like even to get started, like, one day the company decided, let's implement CRM, let's have a CRM application and organize all the information in one repository. Just the moment you get that thought, in order to make that thought a reality, you have to spend millions and millions of dollars to be able to set up the infrastructure to get there. But with cloud computing, you're moving from CapEx model to OpEx model, from capital expenditure model to operational expenditure model. So what is the difference? Capital expenditure model is nothing but you are putting all the money upfront. There is so much upfront cost to be able to build the infrastructure and then start building the application. Whereas in cloud model, the infrastructure cost, everything is already there. You're moving into operational expenditure. That means you're paying subscription basis. Like you're saying, instead of paying all those millions, billions initially, I will pay $50 per user per month. I'll pay $100 per user per month. So based on your need, if let's say you are a small scale company, you only have 50 people that are working. Let's say you are a bakery. There are so many small scale companies. Let's say you are a bakery. You make cupcakes and you are a little bit famous online too, and you want to ship those cupcakes everywhere across the country. Now, how many people would be working for that bakery? Probably 5, 6, or 10 people, even if you are big. Now, can you imagine a company like bakery using a CRM application? Can you imagine they putting millions of dollars to be able to organize their sales process? No. Whereas if you have an operation model like cloud computing Salesforce model, all you can do is, you can just call Salesforce and say, hey, you know what? We have 10 people. Give us 10 licenses. So Salesforce will charge you like $2,000 or $3,000 per month. And you get all these services. You will be able to compete with the so-called enterprise level company with the limited budget that you have. So it's operational expenditure model. So like if you make more money, if you hire more people, you buy more licenses. So that's good for Salesforce and that's good for you too. So and you are getting an enterprise level application by default. So that's why what's happening is many small, medium-sized companies are also started using or implementing CRM application because in the current world, using operation like the OpEx model, you will be able to, like, let's say you are broke, your bakery is broke and you're unable to make money. You'll say, you know what, I will stop paying. I don't want this subscription anymore. That's it. The application is gone and you don't have to pay them anymore. Only when your company is doing good, you will buy additional licenses and you'll do. If your company is not doing good, whereas in capital expenditure model, it doesn't matter. If your company is not doing good, you'll just waste all the resources that you bought and they just stay there. So that's why, because of this operational expenditure model, lots of companies have been using CRM applications in the recent past, and because Salesforce has been in the, a forerunner in cloud computing, especially in the CRM area, many companies have been using Salesforce as well. That's why I think currently Salesforce has 10 million developers across the world. Can you imagine? Like probably 5 years ago, they didn't even have like 100,000 developers. They didn't even have like 50,000 developers like around 5 years ago. Today they have 10 million developers working on Salesforce platform. Imagine the expansion, how big it became as a platform. So, I mean, I'm not selling Salesforce. If I sell Salesforce licenses, they won't give money. I'm not doing a sales pitch, but I'm just saying why, why people are using what. The main goal of this conversation is to help you understand the difference between a CapEx model and an OpEx model. What is capital expenditure model versus operational expenditure model? And Salesforce falls, not only Salesforce, any cloud computing, any subscription model, like Netflix is an OpEx model. It's an operational expenditure model. I think you pay 11 or 10 bucks a month to get their services. It's an operational Any subscription service comes under operational expenditure model. Okay? Any questions so far on CapEx, OpEx, or whatever? Like, did you get an understanding, at least how companies are going to use? What are some of the use cases of Salesforce? What your role would be? Any questions in those lines? Okay, that's good. Am I going too fast? That's a problem with me. Even in meetings, when I start, I don't stop. So am I going too fast or anything like that? Or are you able to get what I'm saying?
Right now it's okay, but once you start getting into the software, how to work on it, you have to be a bit slow.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
because today when you just clicked you did the lead and you showed all the 10 steps, that how is it converted, like closed and lost, till that step, it was quite fast for me at least.
Okay. Yeah. See, feel free to stop me because I'm so used to it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget that other people are looking at this. See, right now, I don't even have a feeling that other people are looking at this screen. Sometimes, that's why when I'm going too fast, please feel free to stop me and say, hey, you know what? I want to see the step again. Can you repeat it? It's good that you guys have recording. You can pause and look at it, but feel free to stop me and ask right there and then, because it's my tendency. You tend to forget that people are looking at your screen and you go fast.
Okay, sure, sir.
I hope the first two sessions that we spoke about. I hope my goal is it. I mean, technically, it might not have given you any knowledge on how to customize applications and that stuff, but I hope it gave you some clarity on, what's the future going to hold, or, what you're really getting into, what kind of technology that you're getting into. I hope it answered some of those questions. All right. Again, it's Friday, so I don't want to take more time. Already I took so much time. We will meet tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST. Is that fine? Too early? Any comments on that?
That's fine for me.
10 is good. Yeah, it's fine for me.
Good. Okay, that's good. So, yeah, we'll meet at 10 a.m. EST. I wanted to talk about software development lifecycle as well. Yeah, we'll talk about software development lifecycle and all. I just want to put something out there. If there is anybody in the audience that have already worked on a technology or anything, I think you might feel bored because I tend to touch everything from very minute level. Because see, when I came in, right, here is my first day experience. When I went to work, I started my job in Philadelphia. What my thought was when I went to the job? I thought, I Googled what Salesforce is. Of course, I got training, but again, I was doing my master's and I was focusing on other useless things rather than, an important thing like getting trained properly and stuff. So what I thought? I thought I would go to my job and I would be speaking with people and create these opportunity records, lead records. That's what I thought. So I went to my first day of job thinking I'll be working as a Salesforce admin. That means I would be going into the job, speak with, I'll be given a phone, I'll be speaking with people, create lead records, create opportunity records, account records, maybe run some reports. That's the thought that I went in. Okay. I mean, I didn't knew, oh, okay, I'm an admin user. So I would actually be customizing the application, but not use it. There are so many users, like, every company will have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 employees of their own who will be using this and not me. Like, I am a super user or a super admin who will be customizing changes for them and who will be introducing new changes. I didn't know. Like, only when they gave me the task, like, hey, can you do this? Can you change this permission so they can see this? That's, slowly I started realizing, oh, you know what? This is not what I'm supposed to do. That's why I assume everybody is in that phase, and I try to give you that basic information as possible and prepare you for your first day. I cannot definitely prepare you for 6 months after what you join the job. I can only prepare you for first 10 to 15 days of your job. No matter how many days I train you, my goal or even your goal is I can only prepare you for like first 10 to 15 days. After that, you're on your own. Anybody's on their own. But that 15 days, I want you to train so that you survive those 15 days. You know what exactly you have to do in the first 10 to 15 days, and later on it would be a cakewalk for you. Okay? So that's why if you already work, you might be feeling a bit bored, but, considering everybody, I'm sure there might be people who are just starting IT, who are like, this is probably their first gig. So I just want to keep everybody in that. And that's why I really go very low level, basic level, and start coming up from there. So please be patient with me if anybody is feeling bored. I know. I never watch my recording. I've never, ever watched my recording in my life because it's so boring to see the whole thing for 1 hour, 20 minutes. All right. So I will send you an invite tonight. Be ready at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
So will it be a longer session?
Yeah, probably a bit more longer.
Okay.
I thought you guys don't want 1 hour, 20 minutes. I'm feeling bad that I took 20 minutes more.
No. This is much needed, actually. The base is getting stronger.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
will be. I want to, it would be a bit more longer session.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.